thank you all for participating today. I want to start out with a fact from the Centers for Disease Control. The CDC recently estimated that each year 2,651 babies in the United States are born with a cleft lip. And, no, with a cleft palate, I'm sorry. And 4,437 babies in the United States are born with a cleft lip, with or without the cleft palate. And that statistic comes from the CDC.gov. People born with cleft lip and or palate have emotional problems. They have low self-esteem because of the way they've been treated and the way they are treated. And that's where you guys come in. That's where you can help them, because most of the time, people that have this condition do need a therapy at some point in time, if for nothing else than their self-esteem. And the reason I'm comfortable talking to you all today about this, and the reason that I know that you all can help, is because I was born with cleft lip and cleft palate. So I know firsthand what it's like to live it. So today I want to inform you about the person born with a cleft lip and a palate, and I want to explain to you the causes, effects, and needs of a person that is born with this condition. I'll first present the causes of the cleft lip and or palate. And this image might be a little bit disturbing, and I don't know if you all will be able to see it. So here we have the cleft lip, where it's just on the lip, and here's the cleft lip a little bit more severe, and this is the cleft palate. This is an complete open palate. If you were to stick a bottle in this baby's mouth right now, it would come out through their nose. Back when I was born, we had goat's nipples, which were the big long black nipples that would shoot past the hole in the roof of the mouth to go down the throat in order to feed the baby. But back to the causes. You know, it's uncertain exactly what causes this condition, but there are several factors that are proven to be responsible. The first one is genetics. Of course, naturally it can be hereditary, and it can come from either one or both parents. And probably the biggest factor is the environment. We know that certain viruses and certain chemicals can produce it, and also drugs. And I'm not talking about not just street drugs. I'm talking about anti-seizure, anticonvulsants, certain drugs for cancer and acne and psoriasis. All these types of drugs can cause this condition too. But then, of course, you have your cocaine use, which is your illegal drug use, and smoking and alcohol can also be factors. Another cause is poor prenatal health. If you are not getting the vitamin D and the folate that you need while you are pregnant, or even before you become pregnant, then your baby can be at risk for this. Another prenatal health issue is obesity. And this is something that my husband and I did when I was pregnant with my son. We went to get a supersonic ultrasound before they came out with them for the pictures that you can buy now. And we purposely did that because I wanted to know. I had to know, did my baby have the cleft palate and cleft lip? And that was before I knew anything about my family history, you know, to know what possibly caused mine. And I was scared that I was going to pass it on to him and that he was going to have a hard time going through school the way I did. But I was obese while I was carrying him. I gained a lot of weight and a lot of water. And so that was a factor, but luckily we didn't have to worry about it. Another factor is race and gender. Now, the American Indian and the Asian race, they have a high rate for this type of defect. Now, the African American culture, they have a low risk. They are the lowest risk race. Males are twice as likely to have the cleft lip and the cleft palate, like what I had, while girls, they are more likely to have the cleft palate, but not the lip. And I got all these statistics and facts from About.com, WebMD, and MayoClinic.com, and then the CDC.gov. Now, the effects or complications of a cleft palate or lip can be serious. First, we have the issue of feeding. As I stated earlier, I was talking about a bottle not being able to go past this. You know, if a baby just has this, the cleft lip, it can latch onto the breast or a bottle fairly easily. And it might take a little bit longer, but it can still do that. But when they have the severity of the cleft palate as severe in these cases, then it's more hard for them to be able to latch and suck on something. And then you also have the problem with it coming in right back up through their nose because there's nothing there. And they have a device now that they didn't have back when I was born, and it's called a NAMI. And it's a plastic device that seals off the roof of the mouth until they're able to do surgery to close the roof of the mouth. Which they don't do that surgery till they're at least about 3 months old. So you got quite a long ways of going to feeding the baby and challenges to face before you actually get that surgery done. Another problem is they have a lot of hearing loss or hearing impairment or infections in their ears. And I think it's due to the fact, again, here we have the milk, it's going up through the sinuses instead of going down where it's supposed to go, and then that also causes fluid to build up behind the ears. I had tubes in my ears when I was a child because of it. And most children that are born with this do have to go through that, and they have to see a hearing audiologist. Another problem, and lastly, speech. Obviously, this speaks for itself. Right here, we can see that there's the gum stops there and the gum stops there, and there's nothing right there in between. So they have speech problems. Particularly is the S sound. Because the way you have to produce the S sound, you do not want any air coming out your nose when you produce an S sound, or it sounds nasal. And you have to have the surgery and learn how to produce that sound. Now, the way I learned when I was younger, when I went through speech therapy, was they would place a mirror under my nose when I pronounced the S sound, and if the mirror fogged, I wasn't doing it correctly. So my goal was to get the mirror not to fog while I produced the S sound. And now, okay, that's causes and effects. So now I want to talk a little bit about their needs. They are very special needs babies. First of all, we have medical doctors. We have the pediatrician, the plastic surgeons, the oral surgeons, and the ear, nose, and throat doctors. They fix the cleft lip and palate. Obviously, the plastic surgeon repairs the physical appearance of the child, and the oral surgeons repair the gum line and the cleft in the mouth, and that enables the baby to be able to feed without milk coming out of their nose. Now, after that, you have pediatric dentists and orthodontists. Again, here you can see why they would need an orthodontist or a pediatric dentist. Sometimes the teeth are growing at weird angles, in a really severe case. And a lot of times there's the need for braces. That was something I had to go through as well. Next, you have your speech therapist and your auditory specialist that can improve their speech and their hearing. And like I said earlier, they need tubes put in their ears most of the time because of frequent ear infections or hearing loss. And lastly, we have social workers and counselors and psychologists. You all are there to help with the image problems and self-esteem problems that they carry. Most of these children are haunted by this until they're at least 18 years or older, and I'll tell you why. It's because with effects like these, what does a baby do? A baby grows, but a baby doesn't grow overnight. So your surgeries are progressive. I have had over 19 surgeries and have over $50,000 sitting on my face worth of surgery. due to this condition. And as they grow, even though they get a little bit better with each surgery, as far as their speech, as far as their appearance, they still get picked on and they still get teased because they're different. And so they have a lifetime of school age years of being picked on and being teased and being put down is the word I want. But that's where you all come in. You all can change that. You all can grab a person that has this defect and say, hey, look, you are valuable. You are worth it. Me and myself, I've gotten over mine a little bit, but I still have times when my husband tells me I am beautiful. I just say, okay, thank you. I've learned to accept the compliment, but I have not learned to actually believe it within my own heart. And that's because when I look in the mirror, this is all I see. That's all I can see. Whereas other people tell me all the time, I would never know if you hadn't told me. But that's all I can see. That's what people like this go through because that's all they've been taught, is that they are different because of the way they look. And those kids can be really unmerciful. But what was I? Oh, sorry about that. In conclusion, we reviewed the causes, the effects, the complications, and the needs of a child with this type of birth defect. And I wanted to thank you for being my most wonderful attentive audience.
Thank you.